Hello, Chloe. I'm so confused right now. I would appreciate your audience advice. 2 years after marriage, my wife decided to bring her sister to come and live with us. I asked her, "Do we need an extra hand in this house?" She responded, "Not that we need an extra hand, but my sister had finished high school long ago, and she's doing nothing in the house. She should rather come and live with us instead of wasting away with my parents." I said, "Okay, no, she shouldn't come and live with us if that's the reason you're bringing her. The two of us have been managing since we got married. Plus, this is a small place, so we can always handle things around here. If she needs assistance, we can always extend it to her. She shouldn't necessarily live with us before we can help." My wife is the sort of person who always wants to have her way. If you try to stop her, she'll go to every length to make your life uncomfortable. After this discussion, she went moody. She got upset very easily, and even answering simple questions from me turned into a fight. She would slam doors when walking past me. She stopped making my favorite meals. When I tried to hug her, she would push me away. The house became cold and silent. One day, she told me, "My sister's coming tomorrow." I said, "I thought we agreed that she wasn't coming." She said, "Yeah, this time I didn't ask her to come. It's my mother who asked her to come, so if you won't agree, call my mom and tell her your mind." I saw the trap she was setting up for me. I was too old to fall into it. If I called her mother, my wife would tell her I was being mean to her sister. Then her mother would think I was a bad husband. The whole family would turn against me. I kept quiet and decided to see how things would go. The next day, her junior sister was around. It's a 2-bedroom house we live in, so she made herself comfortable in the guest's room. I didn't say a word. She arrived with 2 big bags and a small box. My wife helped her unpack while I watched TV in the living room. Nothing changed when she came around. She was there when I woke up each Saturday morning, cleaning the bath and mopping the floor. My wife, too, did what she ought to do. She would wake up early to prepare breakfast. She would wash clothes and clean the kitchen. All this girl did was to sleep and wake up at any time she wanted. Sometimes she would wake up at noon. Other times she would wake up at 2 p.m. She spent most of her time in the hall, watching her favorite TV shows and discussing it with whoever would listen. She loved reality shows and would scream at the TV when something exciting happened. At night she could make calls until dawn. I could hear her laughing loudly on the phone. Sometimes she would play music from her phone speaker. Her sister didn't complain about her behavior, and I felt out of place to say a word to her. 3 weeks after she arrived, things started getting strange. One day she came asking me for money. I was sitting in the living room reading a newspaper. She sat next to me very close. I could smell her perfume. It was too strong. I asked her, "What do you need the money for?" She said, I need it to purchase 1 or 2 things. You know, a girl needs money sometimes." I asked, "Have you told your sister about it?" She said no. I told her. "Then wait when she comes. I would discuss it with her and decide to give you something." She said, "Ain't you the man of this house? Do you have to wait for her before? If that's the case, then stop. I'll get the money from somewhere else." This girl was so disrespectful. I didn't know where she had that attitude from. She stood up and walked away, swaying her hips more than necessary. I noticed she was wearing a very tight dress that showed all her curves. I looked away quickly and continued reading my newspaper. My hands were shaking a bit because I was angry at her rudeness. Another time, I was in the bedroom when she came knocking. It was a Saturday afternoon. My wife had gone to the market. When I opened the door, she was in a very short knicker and in a blouse that exposes everything. The blouse was see-through. I could see her bra clearly. The shorts were so short they looked like underwear. I asked her, "What do you want?" She said, "My sister promised me some amount. She hasn't given it to me yet, so I'm asking if you could give me the amount." Immediately she gives it to me. "I'll refund your money." She was standing very close to me. She kept playing with her hair and biting her lower lip. I closed the door, went inside, and gave her the money. I gave her the money just to make her leave. She never paid the money back, and I never asked her. I didn't want to have any conversation with her. One day, she came up with the same strategy, asking for money. This time she was wearing a towel. Just a towel. She said she just finished bathing. I watched her as she turned and wobbled. Her towel was very short. I said I didn't have money. She pouted and said I was being mean to her. One Sunday, I didn't go to church, but my wife went. I had a headache and decided to stay home. I took some medicine and went to lie down. I was in the room taking a nap when this girl knocked and entered. She didn't even wait for me to ask her to enter. She just pushed the door open and walked in. Again, she was scantily dressed. This time she was wearing a crop top that showed her stomach and very short jean shorts. "Yes. What do you want?" She said. "Nothing, I came so both of us could have a conversation." I asked, "What conversation?" She said, "Just normal conversation. It's not good that both of us would be in the same house and not talk." And I said, "Oh, okay, let's go to the hall." She said, "I like it here because of the air conditioning. The hall one doesn't work." I was lying in bed shirtless. I had removed my shirt because of the heat before turning on the AC. She was seated at the edge of the single sofa, turning and shaking. She crossed and uncrossed her legs many times. She kept adjusting her top, pulling it down to show more skin. We both sat there saying nothing. The silence was uncomfortable. I could hear the clock ticking. She kept looking at me and smiling. I felt very uncomfortable. I grabbed a shirt and put it on. I left the room and went to sit outside. She followed. She came and sat very close to me on the bench outside. She said, "It looks like you are scared of me. Do you think I will tell my sister something? I'm not a child." She touched my arm when she said this. I moved away from her. I asked her, "What do you want from me?" She said, "I don't need anything, but if you give me money, I'll take it." I saw where the whole thing was going and thought it wise to discuss issues with my wife. I was worried this girl would cause problems in my marriage. I didn't sleep well that night, thinking about how to tell my wife. It was hard at first. I didn't know the angle I should pick things from, but I didn't want her to suspect anything before I voice out. I practiced what to say in my head many times. The next day, I waited for the right moment. One night, when we were about to sleep, I told her, "Your sister, she's up to something." She was applying cream on her face. She stopped and frowned a little and asked, "What do you mean?" I sat on the bed and faced her. I told her, "She behaves funny around me whenever you're not around." She asked, "Like how funny?" I took a deep breath and poured out everything to her. The number of times she had asked for money and when she entered our bedroom for a conversation. I told her about the scanty dresses. I told her about the towel incident. I told her how she touches me and sits too close. Everything. She said, "You mean she did all that?" Her voice was getting louder. I said, "How can I lie about something like that? I'm telling you because I love you, and I don't want anything to come between us." She got up, rushed to her sister's room to query her. She was very angry. Her face was red. I tried stopping her, but she walked over me. She pushed me aside when I tried to block her. I followed her to the room. I heard them exchanging words. Her sister started crying immediately. She was crying so loud. All I heard her sister say amidst tears was, "He's lying. I've never done such a thing. He doesn't like me, and I know. I'll leave his house for him tomorrow." She was crying and holding her sister's hand. She looked so innocent with tears running down her face. My wife came back and said, "I know what you are doing. If that's your way of trying to kick my sister out, then it won't work. I can live here with your family without complaint, so you have to learn to live with mine." I was shocked. My mouth was open, but no words came out. I was like, "So you mean I'll tell such a lie because I don't like your sister?" She said, "You've never liked her, and I know it. From day one, you didn't want her here. Now you're making up stories to chase her away." I walked to her sister's room. She followed. Her sister was still crying, sitting on her bed. I asked her, "You said you've never asked for money from me wearing scanty dresses. You said you didn't come to our bedroom while I was sleeping?" The kind of act this girl put up that night could have won her an Oscar easily. She cried harder and said, "I only asked for money once, and I was properly dressed. You're the one who keeps looking at me funny. I'm scared of you." She held her sister and cried on her shoulder. I was so shocked I thought I was dreaming. My legs felt weak. Back in our room, my wife said, "She's only 23 and there's no way she could do any of the things you said. I'm beginning to suspect you are the one trying to hit on her, and because you thought she'll report you to me, you rather came reporting to me. I'll do my own investigation around here." This event happened on the 12th of June, 2025, and to date, my own wife doesn't talk to me. She moved her pillow to the living room. She sleeps on the couch now. I give housekeeping money every week, but she doesn't cook in the house. She only cooks for herself and her sister. I have to buy food from outside or cook for myself. When I cook, they don't eat. She had formed an alliance with her sister while treating me like the common enemy. They whisper when I pass by. They stop talking when I enter a room. I love my wife. She's a good person, quick to anger, but very sweet to be around her if you know how to handle her. We used to laugh together. We used to watch movies together. Now she treats me like a stranger. This issue had become an albatross hanging around my neck. While they sit, laugh, and eat together, they cast weird looks my way, as if I'm walking around with flies behind me. Sometimes they giggle when I walk past. Other times they just stare at me with cold eyes. I'm stuck and don't know what to do. I can't eat properly. I've lost weight. I can't sleep well. I wake up many times at night. Work is suffering because I can't concentrate. My friends have noticed I'm not myself. I feel it's too early to invite a third person into our marital issues. We've only been married 2 years. What would people say? But I'm running out of options. What do I do to get my wife to believe me? How do I save my marriage from this girl who seems determined to destroy it? I need help before things get worse.